This is Mr. Impact Wrestling himself, Moose, and you're listening to the Irish Whip.
Hookers? Hookers and Coke?
Hookers and Coke, man.
You're the only pro wrestler I know that wants to do this shit in the morning.
Yeti, you're a f***ing moron.
Put it this way, I think Sami Callihan might as well just change his name to Invader
I
1.
want to know why. Like, he can dodge any question. Like, I'll tell anyone that. You can tell me but I'm going to ask specific questions.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all the rest of you yahoos who are out there dilly-dillying, you little wankers, we're actually receiving real wrestling news.
This is
Brett screwed Brett.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Brett screwed Brett.
Hold 2 arm bar.
Hey, get a nice shot of the brand new Mr. and Mrs. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate your hat. I hate your t-shirts. I hate your wristbands. I hate your shoes. I hate your music. I hate the C Nation. I hate everything that you stand for.
Sodas rule.
Yeah, they do.
What's up, TIW Mafia? We are here. I'm late, and I'm here with Josh.
What's up?
My fault. We're late this week. But guess what, guys? Josh, you know what? You know what? They can hear us this week.
I know they can hear us this week because you're doing what you're supposed to do. It's when you do this solo, you realize that the little buttons that you have to push and the things that you have to do, it's fun. Like I enjoy being able to say that for as long as we've been doing this, I am still humble enough to make mistakes. I was pissed when it happened. Like Chris Rucker took the time to call me and fuck with me and laugh at me and then hang up. So that was fun.
It's usually me who makes
as I watched
mistake,
Travis Huckabee come out for Limitless's Travis Suffer No Fool. So yeah, you're on one side. Tember's here.
It's usually me who makes the mistakes. Wrestling JJ, what's going on, buddy?
Thank you guys for hanging out. Cool fig.
Yeah.
JP,
you found this one.
Man, it's just I saw it. I don't know. Did you see the rest of these figs that are there?
I looked. I did look through some of them. I don't know why I just tried to talk with my hand over my mouth, but what's up, Tommy Flynn? What's up, Wrestling JJ? Wrestling JJ don't even like English isn't his first language, right? He's from one of those provinces in Canada where they speak French. Oui, oui.
Hey, Quebec or something like that. Mountie. No, from Quebec.
And Larry's here, so I know Bobby D's hanging out somewhere. What's going on, Larry and Bobby?
Yeah, so if you guys don't see your comments this week, it's all JP's fault because literally, honestly, Suffer No Fools is on one side of the screen. You're up on the upper left-hand side. I have the banners up for what we want to talk about. I have Wrestling News Source up for the topics.
Man, they were busy today with all them releases, huh?
Man, do you can you just want to jump into it? Do you want to jump into like the superstars that have been released, like your reaction to them and kind of where you're at with it? So I want to see where everybody else is at with us too.
Big Joe. No, we're not showing your comments.
Hey,
Karen. Karen's out in Jersey Shore today. What's going on?
So when we talk about these releases, I mean, you're talking Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, the Iconics, Chelsea Green, Samoa Joe.
Did you see who they're replacing Samoa Joe with already?
Pat McAfee. Like, good job.
Yeah.
Good for him. Like, I mean, honestly, I when I saw that, I was like, cool. I can see that. I can see he works. He really works for me. Like, and the reason why is, what do you usually have in commentating? You have the color guy and the play-by-play, right?
That's it. And so I think Samoa Joe, everyone's saying this already. Like, Samoa Joe's going to get work anywhere if he wants AEW. I think that's there for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Iconics themselves, it's just...
What would it do for Impact, though?
What?
What would Samoa Joe do for Impact?
It's how do you differentiate Impact from AEW now? Is it do you, or are they one and the same? Are they different? That's the hard part when you start to cross over with these brands, and why I don't think it's cool when they do it is.
I'm really trying to skip Joe's comments.
Are you working? Do you work for Impact? Do you work for AEW? Like who do you work for, and how does that work? It's just like Knuckles said, if there's money involved, you're getting worked, right? Or you're being worked.
That's it.
So I'm just excited to see wherever Samoa Joe goes. He could run Impact. He could rule that roost. He did before. Yeah. He could do it again.
But does he elevate Impact?
Well,
does he bring Impact back to a television state?
No, but the Iconics do. Honestly,
were both of them released though, or just Billy Kay, or was the other one already released?
Billy Kay and Peyton Royce were both released, and I'm saying, man, Peyton.
Okay.
Billy Kay is the ha-ha funny. Even if you watch her in WrestleMania Night 1, which I went back and finally watched, man, if you watch her ha-ha funny with Carmella, and then you have somebody that's as technical as Peyton Royce, I'm just a mark, dude. I'm a mark for them. Mickey James is gone too. I know there's Kalisto is gone. There's a lot of people that they
Kalisto,
let go.
They'll all get work though. That's the thing is there was no duds. There was nobody that, I mean, Mickey James, she just had the baby. Does she want to work? Did she ask for this? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't want to ask, does it matter? Because yes, it matters, right? It matters. It matters in the long run. But in the end, we see the TV part of this. I mean, are we ready to accept this part of what professional wrestling and sports entertainment has become is everybody... It is where it's at, man. You've got television writers that are looking at somebody like Rhea Ripley and they're going to put a belt on her. I'm a huge mark for her, but I don't think she deserves the belt right now. Right?
No, no, and I don't think she's a person that is going to elevate the belt. I think she's a person that gets elevated by the belt. It kind of legitimizes her up there right now with having the belt.
So can you talk a little bit about what you just said? Like, and I don't think for people that listen to the podcast on a regular basis, you've only said that a handful of times, but it's one of those cool things you say when it's associated with the belt is like you either elevate the belt or the belt elevates you, right?
Right.
So
if you think of the belt, so think of the belt like this. If the belt is a gimmick, okay, if the belt is a personality.
Which it is.
It very much is. So now, when you have the belt, you're in a tag team. You're not just a singles wrestler. You're in a tag team. It's you and the belt. Are you elevating your partner, or is your partner elevating you?
Absolutely. Just like when you have a one-on-one match, you've got you there, even though it's a face and a heel, you're there to elevate each other. So I get that. So we don't have Taker for the first time in Mania.
Right.
We don't.
I didn't notice that, by the way, either. How's that?
It's because
how good does that speak for how good Mania was?
It does. I think it speaks volumes to how good Mania was and how well they did to distract us from that. I thought Bayley really co-hosting along with Titus and Hogan was tremendous. I thought it was awesome. I thought it's amazing what a fake pair of glasses and a coat can do to a personality, and she wears it well. Like her maturation process just over the last year and a half is cool.
She overshined two huge personalities.
When you can overshine Hogan and Titus, like when you can do that, I think you've reached it.
Flug and Molly's getting a lot of love in the chat, by the way.
What?
Flug and Molly, because you got the shirt on, getting a lot of love in the chat from Joe and RJ.
Good, as it should be. I paid for that. It was fun.
That was really fun. My shirt is cooler though, I think.
Yeah. Did you see Temper's shirt? I don't know if nobody's commenting on that shirt. That shirt,
that's that August Gray.
That's your Easter egg.
That's that August Gray shirt right there. That's
funny. I figured that shirt would be gray.
You right?
No.
This is part of that package that when COVID hit, and we started sending or buying things from our independent pro wrestlers that we love and adore. Ike was the first one, and it was a matter of, I'm sending you this much money. I just need a T-shirt. But how August is, he didn't just send a T-shirt. So just really cool of him, and Flogging Molly was fun. And
I think
I even have my little wrestling buddy on my keys that goes with me everywhere of AG.
I think we've made it, guys. We got spam in the chat.
We have spam in the chat. Thank you for attending, spam.
Thank you, Elvis. I like mine too, but Tember's especially, and Josh's are great shirts.
Mm-hmm.
The tickets were fun. I got to watch Foggy Molly live. I bought. She got the T-shirt plus 2 other. I got 3 T-shirts. This happens to be a T-shirt that I actually went to the show here in Missoula, and it has that show on the back. So it was a pretty cool thing to get because I didn't get it at the show. So I got this however many years later. So that's pretty awesome.
That is cool. That's all. I always like to get the quantities now that I can get into them.
Oh, wait, it's because you're good. Are you disappointed at all in the releases? Like,
No, because I think they're all. I think we're still going to see them all on TV in one way or another.
Well, I agreed. Bo Dallas, there goes my Kane Undertaker reboot with Bray Wyatt and his brother Bo Dallas. That would have been a cool gimmick, right? That would have been cool,
right? But
how fun was it for me to start that rumor and see it come all the way back around?
It really did. Like, that made the news sites.
I'm sorry. Chelsea Green, she never has really got a chance from seeing her at All Out, that 4-way when she plays the multiple personality, the real Chelsea Green. Dude, I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about from the time that she had to cancel at Defy until now is like her career's been on pause, right? That's been 2 years. So, a long time.
Yeah, and she's one that wasn't getting used a whole lot, was she?
No, she never got used. She was injured most of the time.
Let her go. Mickie James has been out. Ruck is going to hate me for this one, but she's been out because she had the baby. When is she coming back? I don't know. Go be a mother, and then I guarantee you Mickie James will be back in the WWE at some point.
Well, when they say release, and I take this with a grain of salt, you're an independent contractor, you're 1099. So when you get released, you're really just saying, hey, we're releasing you from your 1095, go do your thing. Well, this is the taxes for, right, JP? I mean, that's really what drank if you're watching, because JP's holding back that yawn.
I thought I snuck that one in.
Yeah. Even though I have Limitless going in the background, JP, with Travis Huckabee and Matt Mikowski going, I can still see you trying to hold that thing in.
What a good match.
Limitless champions. MJF, August Gray.
Yeah.
Tonight,
Christian Casanova.
Christian Casanova.
You haven't seen him. Well, you did see him. He was on WrestleMania.
I know.
He was one of the ones bringing out Kyle O'Reilly. Can't say that name.
The cool thing is, like, we can watch this, and Huckabee is cutting a promo right now in Huckabee form. Not, his hairline is getting further back, though. I noticed that for sure.
Those 3 hairs in the front got him combed over nicely.
And he's not an old guy. He's not. He's a young kid.
He's young.
I saw him on Week in the Life of.
Do you want to run through like WrestleMania? What was your favorite match of WrestleMania as we get into this? Like, was there one? Do you want to go like night 1, night 2 favorite match, or was there a favorite one overall?
Night 1 was definitely my favorite night.
Yeah, I think it was everybody's favorite night. You know why it was my favorite night? Because I got to fast forward to the first 40 minutes of the the lightning delay, and just pick up where.
Well, yeah, me too. I mean, what my Friday night last week was. So yeah, I did the same thing. I watched it later, and
were you disappointed in any match?
Not really. No, there was nothing that I said there was no match where I said that was an absolute stinker.
You know what else is cool? As we watch this and people can think about this, is they're putting up scan codes for people's merch tables. So if you see a guy that you like and you want to support him, these promotions are putting up those scan bars, your codes.
Okay.
So the key code, so you can just scan that with your phone and it takes whoever's watching right to that merch store. So cool. I'm with you, man. When people are thinking about talent and where to go and where to work and how do I benefit most from if I make this trip. Don't you think in independent wrestling, when the promotion is taking the time to say, hey, before and after your matches, I'm going to put up a code for 30 seconds because there's people that are, that are paying for ads on IWTV, which is, I think, a pretty cool thing. Deathmatch Mag is one of them. C-Stars are on right now. I'm
so much on night one that the only thing I didn't like on night one was the women's tag team turmoil match. And the only thing I didn't like was the announcer fucking it up in the end.
Yeah, they did bad. The other part, my favorite part was the Riot Gear's gear, like the fact
Yes.
The fact that Ruby Riott was dressed up more like the Joker and Liv was dressed up as Harley that was cool as a tag team. Those are the things I pay attention to. It's like the gears part of it. The gears,
every match was good. The people who you didn't expect to to get out there and really perform. I'm talking about, is it Omos?
Yeah, Omos.
And Bad Bunny. I thought Bad Bunny was phenomenal. I mean, he did a freaking Canadian destroyer.
Is that a testament to the training that is available at the Performance Center?
Yes, and Omos, the way that they covered up that AJ was calling that whole match by having him literally just call the whole match from the corner loudly, like he was coaching them.
Yeah,
I thought that was phenomenal.
Did you like? You know what Omos is Hall and Nash's body card. That's where that's his claim to fame. That's his start. So when he comes into this, AJ is AJ. He will always be AJ. Like he's the brainchild, I think, of a lot of great matches that happened in Impact. I have yet to verify that, but I mean, you talked about it. He called that whole match. He called that whole match out loud, pretty much out loud and in the corner, right?
That's it. That was the way. I mean, that was the way Kamala had his matches. Kamala never called his matches. They were always called by Kim Chi outside. That's a fact.
It is. I know.
But they just, instead of covering it up the way they did with Kim Chi, was they just had him out and out do it. I thought that was brilliant.
So,
I thought my favorite moment though was Cesaro holding the belt.
Cesaro. I just looked at a picture of Cesaro, Chris Hero. I'm not going to say that other word now. He's no longer Cassius over to me. Chris Hero, Claudio, and Larry Sweeney from way back in the day, from when Chris Hero and Claudio were wearing the Campeones de Parejas, whatever that. I can't remember Campeones de Parejas. Huh?
Was that a fist at that? Was that a version of fist at that point?
I don't remember if it was a version of fist or not. It was just one of those pictures that when you see it.
No, that was, what were they? Because they was something European, because they all did the European uppercuts.
Well, weren't they Los Ice Creamos before? They were the original Los Ice Creamos in
along with Quack,
along with Quack. So it was those three. So I don't know, man. It was really cool to see. So when you're talking about WrestleMania reactions, if you think about the match itself, I mean, that's a Ring of Honor Combat Zone wrestling match again that everybody asks to see. Like, I want to see the Combat Zone and Ring of Honor and blah blah blah, right? Well, what we're getting, what we asked for, is just about 10 years later, right? And in a better quality arena. But Cesaro, dude, pound for pound, that dude. Can you imagine taking a punch from him? Like, at all?
No.
He would kill me.
That's true. Now, how about the women's match? Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks.
Unbelievable.
How do you compare that? I know it's hard to compare this because it's two different styles, two different matches, whatever. But the St. Patrick's Day with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. How do you compare
that? It really is apples and oranges. And it's not only so. I preferred Bianca in Sasha, but it's a completely different environment. That environment raises the element to it.
Right.
You got WrestleMania is sort of like a belt. There's two ways you can go. You can either show up and you can flop, and everyone's going to remember that you flopped at WrestleMania, or you can show up, you can headline the show, and you can kick some ass. And that's gonna bring it up a little more.
Yeah, you can be running down the ramp and fall on your ass. That happened.
Didn't somebody trip coming down the ramp?
Did you see when Dana Brooke and God, what's her name? God dang it! It's anyway. Yeah, somebody fell. Can't remember what her name is. I'm lost, man. I'm struggling here. So
I'm throwing things around over here. Sorry.
Typical JP.
Well, I couldn't see my clock. I like to see my clock so I know times.
I just let you go, man. I just let you go.
And I dropped my water. That's all. But I caught it. I caught it. And listen, you were part of the mute. She was part of Mutegate, so she can't talk to me.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But yeah, no, I really like night one. Night one should have been night two.
See, but how do you, as a booker, and you can probably appreciate this, as a booker, and if you're going to do this, and this is, I think, going to be my contention every time, is you never know which night's going to pop off. Because night one, they may set the bar, to the point where night two, no matter what you do, you can't get back there.
So here's the thing. I was watching a video of a guy on YouTube who was at WrestleMania both nights. And he walked in night two, and he said, oh, wait, I've already seen all this. So having two nights sort of took something away from it for him, because like part of it's walking into the arena when you're going and seeing everything for the first time, seeing the set.
Well, I think that's why you really have to have that second night tie-in. If you're going to do this for two nights, you've got to have a second night tie-in to WrestleMania, and it always has to happen in some way, shape, or form, which makes people, and maybe it's a match they have to invent. Maybe it's something that is yet to happen because somebody hasn't thought about it yet. But I think you have to have a combination of night one and night two. For me as a fan watching it, like, it's really cool to be able to have that much pro wrestling in one weekend. I didn't watch night one live because I spent the whole day on IWTV. That's all I did.
But I think wrestling, I think it needs to be one night, and it needs to be 4 to 5 hours. 5 hours, absolute tops, the most.
See, but after 3, man, I typically check out a little bit.
That's why I'm saying 4 to 5 hours, like tops, the most. It should be 3, but it should. I don't think 2 nights is. I just don't think 2 nights is. And I think a good sign of things is that. Did you see what happened in Vegas today with the McGregor-Poirier fight?
No.
They sold out 20,000 tickets.
Sold 20,000 in seconds. See?
So that's a good sign, because that's a sign of arenas being able to open back up a little more. Like 20,000 is a lot of people in there.
Are there stipulations like social? How much did you? There was no social distancing in WrestleMania.
Oh no, there was.
Where?
There was.
Yeah.
Where?
So there was fake people. They had cardboard cutouts in between seats.
I'm talking in the front.
I don't know. I know. I can tell you
it was like
in
a
the
straight
seats.
Mosh pit in the front. Like, there was no social distancing.
I can tell you in the seats they had. So I saw it. They had.
I did too. Like when everybody was doing the yes chant, I didn't see any cardboard arms go up.
Yeah. But if you looked close, it was like I don't know if you guys watched Psych.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But like two of the people were the 2 guys from Psych.
Really?
That were cardboard cutouts.
I didn't see that. I saw most of the bottom part was
PewDiePie and people like that. It was like top celebrities.
I just watched the live people down there, and I was kind of impressed with how much they didn't give a shit about how many people were down there in the front, like at all, and how close. Like, it just looked like a regular live. There was no social. I don't care. Like, to me, it doesn't bother me.
At this point, I think it's sort of your responsibility, not the world's responsibility to police it.
Exactly.
You know, I'm vaccinated.
I'm not.
I had to get tested once.
Yeah.
But, like, I've gone out to bars. I've gone out, you know what I mean? I've gone out to restaurants, and I just traveled. So, but I'm vaccinated. I took that responsibility among myself to go out and do that. So I could do things. And I think really everybody needs to, and I have family that's really sick right now with COVID. So I'm probably an asshole for saying this, but I think it's everybody's responsibility, and it is your responsibility to keep your neighbor safe as well. If you know you have it or you're showing symptoms, don't leave your house.
Well, here's it. You know, we live in Montana, and honestly, like when you go out, what percentage of people do you think are wearing their masks out in public?
Anymore?
Right now,
25%. Yeah.
So do you have to wear them in stores and stuff there?
Check this out. So this is my psychological. Since we're talking about this, this will be our sidebar for tonight. Okay, we're going to talk about this. I see less people wearing masks in Walmart than I do Target. I know when I walk into Walmart, I'm not asked to wear a mask. I know when I walk into a Target, who I am, I'm asked every time to wear a mask. If I was a female with boobs and yoga pants, I don't get asked. Right?
The only reason
I've watched it. Like today again, I went in there today and literally like, do you have a mask, sir? Nope. Can I have one? Yep. And then I turned right around and I just sat there for about 5 minutes and watched about 10 different women come in with their yoga pants and shit and watch this man just watch them walk right in. So
I thought the people you would want to talk to.
I don't know, man. It's just selective. It's not. It doesn't. People up here don't care. I mean, they do, but they don't. And we're socially distanced really as it is, that if you get sick, you get sick and you can isolate and you can do what you need to do. But I agree with you. It's hard, man. I do my best to wear a mask. I do my best to be socially responsible. But when you're the only motherfucker in the public restaurant and there's 100 people in there and you go to eat, it's like, what am I doing? You know? I mean, that's where we were at last night.
Yeah.
We walk into a restaurant because we had lasagna. I threw the lasagna on the floor.
Lasagna.
It fell and landed on the floor, so we ended up going out to eat. Mm-hmm. And we're being responsible. We both have our masks on. You're vaccinated. I'm not yet, just because I haven't had the time. And you know, you walk in and I'm like, there is not a single person in here wearing their mask for any reason whatsoever. Granted, there's down and eating, but even when people, I mean, there's not a single person in that place wearing a mask.
So in restaurants here, you have to wear the mask until you get to your table, and then you can take it off once you're at your table.
Same here.
Which doesn't really make sense to me. If you're going to walk through the restaurant past people who don't have their masks on in the first place, isn't that kind of like having a peeing section in the pool?
Yeah, sort of.
We're all breathing the same air, right?
That was my take on Wrestlemania. I was curious as to how they would handle the COVID and that you can't. You say basically this is your seat. You're supposed to try to stay socially distanced. Wear your mask, right? So they're not going to be down there saying, "Hey, wear your mask. Hey, wear your mask. Yeah. Hey, wear your mask."
I did see a lot of people that had their masks down and stuff. So
yeah, and I saw a lot of people have their masks up. So we're going to get that wherever we go. I think we just try to do the best that we can in mitigating. Like when we go out to live events, I'm going to do my best to wear my mask, right, until I don't have to, or people are willing to accept that we're going to have to get this shot every year, like the flu shot. Like it's the flu. It's just a really shitty version of it.
It might be every 6 months.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to, it's a different world, man. And we're just trying to adapt and adjust to it. And I'm looking forward to more live events. Beyond is doing their stuff. Yep. Night 2. What do you think? WrestleMania Night 2. What was your overall takeaway from that?
I liked it. I think the most memorable was probably the Bray Wyatt finish.
Yeah.
I didn't get the makeup running on. I didn't understand that. Like, we all know where it's coming from. We all understand that it came from the headband, and it's not really some spell from beyond, like when it happened to the Undertaker, and it was mystical, and we don't know how Papa Shango did it to him.
You could tell how this wasn't a boogeyman eating real earthworms type situation. This was a headband that you could obviously see, and you could see that Alexa was a little awkward after. It's like, okay, quit pumping this shit out my face, and just sitting there, like, hit the lights, let's get out of here. It's those awkward moments, and to be brutally honest about the entire. What's up, Ava? Ava's on TV. Well, what really, I guess, irritates me, man, is if I go back, and I do this every year, and if I go back and I watch, granted they're not as technical, but I watched some old matches, and I don't see missed spots. I don't see drops. I don't see top of the rope. I can't get up there, so I'm going to chop your legs. I don't see, sorry, we're in the wrong position. Just shuffle around. Now I'm going to do my finisher.
So there's a reason why you didn't see them back then.
And that's my point. Is I'm struggling.
It wasn't
man.
done every match,
right? And I'm struggling with the fact that people feel like they have to give that to us as fans every time, because they don't. I feel like the talent needs to hold back a little bit with the stuff that they're doing.
So back in the day, the wrestlers used to tell us what we wanted to see. We didn't tell them what we wanted to see.
Yep.
So you didn't get a 450 corkscrew 3 times in a night. Shit, you didn't get 2 fucking figure 4 leg locks in a night.
You didn't. It didn't take 4 or 5 finishers to
a finisher
somebody.
Finished. A finisher. You did not kick out of a finisher. You didn't, unless that was what the booker said. You did not. And when I say a finisher, I don't just mean your finisher. If you were on a show with Jerry Lawler and you did a pile driver, you better not have gotten up from that pile driver, even if it wasn't Lawler that did it.
Yeah. If you were to repeat another individual's move, it had better be just as effective as the person that started that thing, or it either elevated that person, right, just like the belt, or it devalued the move or the finishing move itself, right?
There's a scene in the movie The Wrestler where I love, but you could tell that they talk to old school guys and not new school guys.
Yep.
And it's when they're in the locker room and they're going over the match, and someone says, "Oh, you can't work the leg. I'm working the leg." Like, that doesn't happen now.
No. And the other part of that too, and this is, I appreciate that you brought that up, is I appreciate the fact that when I need a reality check, when it comes to something like that, I can simply pick up my phone and text Evan Ginsberg, and he can check me.
And Evan loves to. Evan is an old school guy. He's I don't like the word wrestling historian. I think it's overused and abused, but
he's a wrestling resource, is what he is.
Yeah.
He is a professional wrestling and sports entertainment resource for anybody that wants to know how the transition went from the carnival business to television, right?
That's it.
So, what's Elvis asking us?
Elvis says, which female wrestler is the most beautiful, and why is it Sasha?
Nice, Elvis. Nice. I think Chris Rucker paid you to ask that question.
No, Rucker would go with Mickey James, I think. Or Becky Lynch.
All 3 of them probably. No one Rucker. You know what's real? Like, we don't call coffee creamer in our house coffee creamer. What do we call it?
Rucker juice.
That's right. We call it Rucker juice.
But only when it's pumpkin spice. No.
Josh, I gotta read something pretty quick.
Okay.
So today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space, so you always know how much you get. When you include an ad from Podgo, apply today. Become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And be sure to add the Irish Whip and how did you hear about us, about Podgo section of the application.
Dude, Podgo is amazing to us, and I appreciate everything that they do for us. It's just fun to talk to people when they ask, like, if I wanted to start, what's a good place to start if I want to start monetizing my podcast? Podgo is where I send.
That is the way to go.
Elvis, to answer your question, I do not think that he needs to ask me to answer that question. He can answer that question.
Am I able to answer the question with my wife sitting there? Am I able to answer if somebody's beautiful or not? Yes, I'm absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's why I have a 45 by 82 signed autograph picture of the Iconics that I can't hang in the house right now.
Because they fucking drive me crazy. That's actually, you guys were talking about them being released or whatever, and I was like, I'm really not too sad about this.
Oh, I love the Iconics.
They drive me so crazy.
I just miss being able to walk out and like when something happens in the house or I don't do something, I just miss.
I was watching some old matches that I was at that I helped set up here in New England on YouTube not too long ago, and one of them was like their first match in the U.S. or one of their first matches in the U.S. I forget the name they were going by then. It was something Eagles.
I think about this: Tennille Dashwood, Shazza McKenzie, Billy Kay, and Peyton Royce. It's time. Like it's literally time to bring all four of them in a stable. And somebody had sent this earlier, but I think they left out Shazza. Those four together would be really, really fun in AEW, even for a little while.
The Sheep Herders. That's the name. It's got to be. They got to be the Sheep Herders, part 2.
Yep. Joe Salenza, I think, is watching us on YouTube. What's up, Joe? And he's asking me thoughts on Beyond and Women's Wrestling Evolution. So WWR. So it's I think it's Women's Wrestling Revolution merging for a new brand. So take this with a grain of salt, okay? Because WWR and Beyond are the same. They're one and the same. They're just a different brand. All WWR is Beyond branded as an all-female show. So absolutely cool. I think right now it's a race to whoever can get a 2-hour all-female show on television is who's going to win as far as where the female talent starts to go.
And we banked money a couple of years ago on Glow. Not Glow. What's
David
the
McClain.
new one? Yeah, what's the new
McClain.
David McClain?
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah, we put all our chips in on Tessa, man. We put all our chips in on Tessa. It's really what we did.
WoW is still a cool, fun product.
It is. WoW could. You know how we are. It really comes down to who's got the ambition and the balls to do it. And Chris Jericho. If I'm a young up and coming kid that wants to be something somewhere, I'm probably going to go and be part of a system first so I can understand it. If I've been around people that have been part of a system like the WWE, if I've grown up around that and I have friends that are in that, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go learn that so I can have that in my repertoire, right? Yep. And then at that point in time, I can go do whatever the hell I want to do and then come back, right?
That's it.
So go, honestly, the security that the WWE offers for the minimal contract that they give the signees is good. Do I call Vince the Collector? Yeah. Did I get that from Desmino at Talkmania? Yep. I absolutely believe it. And we see it. We see him sign people, sign talent, and then not use them. We see him sign talent like Aleister Black, Keith Lee. I'm not going to go through the list, but it's there. And it sucks knowing that we don't get to enjoy that part. We don't get to enjoy. Keith Lee's phenomenal, amazing. I love Keith Lee. Like just one of a century, one of a whatever amazing talent. I mean, the kid can a Spanish fly from the top rope. Are you serious? So it's like Mark. He's Mark Henry, but more athletic. Not as big.
Yes, that's a good way of putting. Yeah, but. In today's generation, he's pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh,
size-wise.
Just ripped that out of our ears. So, night 2 was really fun. I don't want to dwell too much more on WrestleMania, but I really enjoyed Roman Reigns as the heel that we knew he could be. And I'm going to say this and feel it, is that the only way that Roman Reigns could become the heel that he had to be was John Cena had to go away.
I loved when Roman reacted to the crowd when they said, like, Roman said that was awesome.
But there was no if you think about it, we haven't had a heel reaction to a crowd in a year. so seeing him as just him as doing that and reacting to the crowd was fun again, man. It was really fun. I want to talk about Bloodsport a little because you watched it. I bought it.
Yeah.
We tried to do a show about it. I sucked on it. Long story short, I got in an accident. We had to reschedule the interview with a Savage Gentleman and Lady Frost, which I think might happen tomorrow. I don't know. We're just playing it by ear. We're going to see. Who knows?
Awesome.
But I want to ask you again.
No. Okay. What?
What did you think going into it? Like Bloodsport6? Like,
what did you before you started watching it? What did you expect?
I expected more like deathmatch, but it turned out to be like fusion between, and take this for what it is, like WWE and a deathmatch, which actually I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Did you feel like it was more mixed martial arts, grappling?
I wanted more blood.
In the beginning, right? JP,
yes.
Like the beginning matches, I mean, they are what
they were grappling. There was a lot of grappling, and that's what it should like. They wanted to look very real.
Yeah, it's a grapple fest. It's part of that grappling that catches it's an art that you have to learn to go to the next level. A piece.
Josh, I'm pretty sure you've been in a street fight in your life, right?
A few.
Tember, I know for a fact you've been in a couple, and I know I've been in a few. What don't you do in a street fight? I don't flip off of ropes.
No.
I don't do giant corkscrews. I'm trying to get a piece of you, and I'm trying to fucking hurt you. And that's what they made it look like they were doing.
Right.
Yes.
So fast forward through all the matches. I know. Did you watch the Leo Rush match?
Yes.
The bout, I should say. Sorry, Rich Palladino. Bout. What did you think of that?
Was so good at that too.
I know. He just teleported all weekend long. Everywhere you looked.
Dude, he posted on his Facebook that he stayed with a friend. I won't say who the friend is because it'd be like name dropping. But
yes, I know who you're talking about anyway.
He stayed with somebody that whole weekend, borrowed that guy. That guy let him borrow their car. And that included, like, he did shows. He had shows Saturday night at midnight until Sunday afternoon.
I know. Every time I turned on the television, every time I turned on IWTV or something else, when I paid $20 for Fight TV for Bloodsport6 and I saw Rich Palladino, I was like, what the fuck? Where is he here too?
It's because he just packs all of his tuxedos with him.
Yeah, I know.
And when he goes, and he just quick change.
He does that for every show.
I know.
He has a suitcase. I've seen this. He has a suitcase full of cummerbunds, and like he'll have the special ones with him, and he'll be like, "Oh, I can't wear that one because I wore that one at this show. I can't wear this one because this one means this to me." It's incredible the amount that guy puts into this. He loves pro wrestling more than anyone I know.
So if you're not familiar with what shoot wrestling is or grappling is, it's UFC.
It's the ground and pound.
It's UFC at 80%. It's the ground and pound at 80% where you're doing enough to just land a shot but not do damage. So a lot of these Savage Gentlemen, Leo Rush, they're doing this to hone that art form or continue to keep it sharp. Right. Ooh. And we get to benefit from the fact that we got Josh Barnett and John Moxley that are willing to really just beat the living shit out of each other and throw elbows on foreheads to see who can create the bigger gash. And it was like there was blood, lots of blood.
Hey, Nick. Yeah, there was a lot.
What's up, Had? What's up, Nick? What did you? I know you weren't expecting. Like you had no idea. You were like,
"Addicts boys in the house."
Yeah, you were like, "We're gonna watch Bloodsport6." And I cooked. I didn't get to watch Davey Boy Smith Jr. I didn't watch a lot, but I watched the main event.
Yeah.
And there was a couple. Bobby. There was a couple spots where you had. I mean, you had to look away.
I did, and I work in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for like 14 years, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, stop! Oh god, oh no, stop!" Like,
but first impression, you thought that was all real. Like you thought John Moxley was concussed 100%, right?
I still stand by my statement. He had a concussion.
He may very well have.
He very well may have, but he's selling it, right?
Oh, he sold it 100%.
And I was thinking about this the other day. Can you think of 3 guys that have been part of a faction outside of NWO, bigger than Moxley, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, that are just killing it and continue to kill it and be at the top of their game separately than those 3 right now? Honestly, can you? Like
Kingston?
No,
not really. I mean, they are
Hall, Nash, and Hogan.
New Day is, but they're not to the point that the Shield is doing it right now.
Yeah. I just, if you guys get a chance, the Bloodsport is, if you don't like mixed martial arts, if you don't like UFC, if you don't like the grappling part of wrestling, you're probably not going to like Bloodsport. It really is for a certain amount of people that like blood.
Yeah.
Like organized, staged, chaotic.
Slaughtering.
I mean, it's violence. It's really just organized. I'm going to go out there. I want you to hit me until I bleed. You hit me with as many elbows as you need till I bleed. Then we're going to go. Like, it's, to me, it was.
But they did it in a very old school way, though, because they saved the blood for the last match. No one else really bled in that.
Nobody did, and that's what I appreciated.
The build.
It really did appreciate that build up to that match where it's. The reason I get pay-per-views and the reason we don't have a DVR and the reason we do this stuff is because I pick matches that I'm going to go cook or do stupid shit at. And
drop lasagna on the floor.
Yeah, it's my fault if I do that. But I'm thoroughly impressed by the fact that professional wrestling and what it is continues to morph. Like I saw an article of the 25 biggest LGBTQ matches of Wrestlemania weekend. Like there's people actually making these lists now.
Well, because you got guys like Effie out there that are doing that, and Effie will do what he can to elevate another person in the LGBTQ.
I know it's hard.
I know I always fuck letters up, and I feel bad because I do respect them.
It is a different world that kids are growing up in. When I was growing up, it wasn't an
we said it was gay.
It was
that was the word. That was
all the bad words you can think of. And to me, it will always be racism and bigotry is taught. I've had to unlearn a lot of that. And I'm real when I tell you, like, still life with apricots and pears. Those types of individuals, Solo, Tember,
what I liked about Still Life.
Huh?
What I liked about Still Life was you didn't know that until later on.
No, the whole white, that's what I appreciate of the fact of where Still Life is at, is the white outfits, and then at each time there was paint that went into the canvas.
Yeah,
and now to where
there's less of a canvas now.
It's really cool to watch. It's honest. I'm going to be honest. It was awkward for me. It continues to be awkward for me, but I continue to push myself through that because I'm being a hypocrite if I don't. I'm being a hypocrite if I can say I'm okay with watching a man wrestling a man or a female wrestling a female, or I'm okay watching a female wrestling a male, but I'm not okay watching somebody general neutral or whatever wrestling somebody else that's that way. You can't think that way. For me, that's backwards. So it's without individuals that are willing to do that. There's Robert Martyr right there. That kid was part of the weekend that Drew Gulak was talking about. So there you go. Crazy where these kids show up when we're hanging out. I don't know, man. I'm lucky that Tember sat down and is willing to like absorb this type of art with me.
Yeah.
Which is,
like the way Tember's really embraced it. Like she's a huge fan now, and it's cool. I guarantee you, Tember has watched wrestling without you home.
Duh. I don't have to just wait for him. Hey, babe, I'm going to be 45 minutes late. That sucks. I'm already watching wrestling, so sorry.
Yeah. Here's Kevin Blackwood. He doesn't like me on Twitter. I think he's the only person out there on Twitter that's actually a pro wrestler that doesn't like me, and that's just because I don't like him either. Is that okay?
Why doesn't he like you?
I don't know. I think I pissed him off somehow.
Maybe because you're real and you say what you think and what you want to say. I
think it's funny. I just think it's him and I. We go at it sometimes on other places, but it's kind of fun. It's us. Just I say that playfully. I think we just continue to sharpen each other's skills is what we do in other places. It's fun, man. It's fun when you can interact with a lot of these talents, right?
Yes, I made some very good friends through doing this.
Twitter was a fun week for us outside of, Bloodsport was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can I give a shout out to somebody, by the way?
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Ivar, man. I am so glad to see you back on TV. I am glad you're healthy, brother, and I hope you stay that way for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
People were doubting it, right?
Yes, like people who know. I had conversations with people, and I told you about it that day, Monday, and then there he shows up Monday night. So, new hat. I liked it.
It was good, man. You know how I was just more excited to be able to actually enjoy not just WrestleMania weekend, but like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday up to it, not just NXT, but all the shows on IWTV, all the talent that was on IWTV that are now touring up there in through just the independents. I guess that's the other part of it I want to hit on, and we've got 10 minutes here, and I think it's something that
you're still gonna spin a wheel too.
Yeah, well, let's spin the wheel, and then I'm going to ask you a question, and we can explain how booking has changed.
The wheel is different this week, guys. The wheel is numbers 1 through 42. There were 41 shares. I owe JJ a spot on the wheel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the wheel, and then I'm going to count down from the top of the retweets. I'm going to start with number 2 because number 1 is Tember, who did a quoted retweet. And I am going to count down from there till I get to the number that wins on the wheel, okay? Just to be perfectly clear so everyone knows we're being honest. That's how that's going to work.
We're never honest. We're liars.
I am going to shuffle the wheel up.
And Bobby D, I hope I can be on more. I would like to be on more. It'd
Bobby
be
D,
awesome.
I'd love to have Tember on here more, but
I'm not cool enough to hang out.
No, you absolutely. Absolutely. It's I feel like I don't want to put you in a position to make you feel awkward when questions come up. Oh, nice. You've only been watching for a while. There's so much.
Sorry, I didn't know this was going to be so loud.
I don't know the answer. I can't give you the answer. It's like embarrassing or putting in a situation. Means I need to watch more wrestling.
What kind of music are you playing?
I just hit some random one on there, and I had no idea it was going to be that loud.
That's awesome.
Number 18. So I am going over to Twitter right now, and I'm going to count down. So you guys have your little conversation you were having that I cut off. Sorry about that.
No, it's I wish Tember could come on here more. It's more of a schedule thing. A lot of time it's a content thing. Because when we were getting ready to have Savage Gent and Lady Frost on here, like you want to be prepared.
Oh yeah.
It was one of the first times like when you're getting ready to do an interview. It's intimidating a little bit, isn't it? Like when you sit down and start to think about it, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to sit down and talk to these people and I don't really know anything about them.
Well, yeah. And I wanted to go back through and like look at some of their matches, watch their matches, figure out kind of who they are in the ring, and then pick their brain and figure out who they are outside the ring.
Mm-hmm. And JP and I will be the first ones to tell you that
Nick.
No matter how much work you do, the interview just flows.
Yes.
It really does. Like, it's the best thing that anybody can ever do if they're looking to interview somebody.
Just let it go.
Is just go in and have a conversation with somebody, because there's a reason you're interviewing that person, is because you're obviously interested in them. You know something about them. I
didn't write down a single question for a very good professional wrestler.
I don't think I did either.
No, it just went. But I've written down questions for guests, and then like the interview goes a different way, and I'm like, shit, I really wanted to know the answer to this.
Yeah, I've researched for days and then had it all in a notebook and then left it 45 miles away and then been there and like, well,
here we go.
Yep.
So
yeah, and I was straight like fangirling it. I was looking up Lady Frost, all of her matches, who she was with, who did she win, did she not, how did she win, how did she lose? Oh.
Did you just a simple fact that came to fruition the day is that a Savage Gent is actually the peanut butter platoon. He's the Butterfinger champion. They literally sent him an undisputed belts peanut butter championship belt because of all this stuff. Like, he eats peanut butter and everything, literally. Like, all he does is promote Butterfinger, so they sent him a belt. He and Butterfinger are now the World Tag Team Butterfinger champs.
So we do have a winner.
Who is the winner?
Dizzle Spragg. It's at 589 King.
Good. Dizzle Spragg at 589 King.
Guys, the wheel will probably go back to the way it was last week. This was I started doing it and I ran out of time, so the quickest way of doing it was the numbers, just to get everybody in there and to be very fair, because as we all know, I have missed names in the past.
Well, when we do miss names, we make sure to get back on the wheel. And when they get back on the wheel, they fucking win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the thing is if you come on and be a guest on the show, typically you end up winning somehow or another, and then we have to respin anyway.
Yeah, and we have never rigged this at all. So,
or you guys put me on there and I win, and then you guys just spin it again anyway.
Yeah, we did kind of dismiss.
I think I still owe you a figure, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Whatever.
I know. I'll never see it.
Every other figure I owe, you'll see it. I'm going to hand deliver it someday.
I will. It's now it's recorded, so everybody knows that you're going to hand deliver a fig to me.
So let's take we can do this in 4 minutes or less. As always, please follow us at the number 3 Irish Boys with a Z. Download, like, subscribe, 5-star podcast us if you'd like. JP, how do you feel about podcasts sponsoring professional wrestling and the matches that we see on independent wrestling? How much has that changed what's going on?
It's all about the return on investment. So if you invest into a company, you have to make sure that company is going to get some exposure with that. So there's going to be pictures out there on the internet that are going to get circulated that have your logo on them, or video, or anything like that. Or RJ, who's in the chat, has had been mentioned in a write-up on SI.com. Things to that nature to get your return on investment. Not just to be seen by the hopefully sellout crowd of 200 in the audience.
I mean, how nice is it that you do sponsor these matches or other places, and like RJ says in the chat, he's been burned once. I bet you have, man. It's all about making sure you get that return on investment, and the key is when he
was the oldest person that person burned too.
Yeah, if you got burnt, you make sure that you let every podcast know, and you let everybody out there that, hey, don't spend money with this promotion. Don't do it, or they'll burn you. And sooner or later, that promotion won't be around.
RJ right now is going damn to what I just said, and no one else got that joke.
Yep.
Elvis, send Tember a Billy Kay or Peyton Royce figure. Ooh, speaking of being burned, yeah, I need kindling for when I go camping. So yeah, go ahead and send me one of those.
What?
What?
He wants me to send an Iconics figure to Tember.
And I said I need kindling for when I go camping.
The figures wouldn't burn good; they would smell.
I can't believe you'd say that about the Iconics.
I can, and I did.
You're fired.
It's fine.
You're fired.
It's fine.
Fired.
Yep, fired. Exactly. That's what I would use them for. Is fire.
I want to do a whole show on the NWO sneakers that they wore during the Hall of Fame induction.
Those were pretty cool, man.
They all had custom. Well, I don't know that I know Nash and there might have been Hall and X-Pac that had the custom NWO Jordan 1s on.
Hey, so now that we've talked about return on investment, if you're going to be a podcaster, you're listening to this, and you're going to invest money in a promotion, make sure you're going to do it where there is the likelihood of exposure and you making money back. Don't just do it because you like somebody or you think that it's cool. Make sure that you're making a smart business decision. That's really it, right?
And RJ, get your money back off of that scumbag.
Yeah, please.
Talking about the guy that used to run Synergy.
Yeah, well,
for those who don't know, you can look that up.
I'm sure you'll get your money back at some point in time. A receipt's a receipt when it comes to that.
Yeah, so RJ just said make it beyond our limitless too. And it doesn't have to be beyond our limitless. Like there's stuff out in the Pac Northwest that gets that type of exposure too.
Texas wrestling's hot right now for that.
Yep.
There's a lot of Texas wrestling out there trying to get a bite like Limitless has and Beyond has. Those are, I don't know. Are there any other? I mean, those are our two.
Yeah, Florida runs hot and cold. But Texas is always good. And because you got right now down there, you got Thunder Rosa's promotion that I know Chaos Theory's been investing into a little bit.
Mission Pro.
Yeah, and up in your area, not so much Montana, but Washington and that type of area, there's a couple promotions that are worth it. And the Northeast is always the Northeast.
Right. Just it's all about making something monetarily, right?
And what's cool is over the past year, I know we're running a little over, but over the past year, a lot of these companies have learned to run with no crowd live, so they're learning how to run and use the internet. So that is a little extra exposure for anyone that invests in them.
It is, and they are they think outside the box, and the fact that you've got youth that are very much progressive and mature in like Randy Carver at Limitless. What's up, Abe Everett?
Right.
It is something that I really encourage. We it's hard for us to do it because we're homers for a lot of these people anyway, and we would prefer to give our money individually, I think, than collectively, which call us arrogant, but we don't give a fuck. That's just how it is. Like, I want to be able to promote the whole promotion, but honestly, I'm selfish, and I want to promote the brand that we feel like we want to be behind. And
I don't know. That would look pretty cool on the side of a ring, though.
It would. It would look really cool if Davey Cole put that inside a ring on a mat. That would look even cooler.
Wow.
Hey, we're up for an hour. Anything you got to promote, man? Anything we need to push?
No, man. I mean, just check out, because when we do this Savage Gentleman, when we do this interview, like they're really a couple that kind of came up in the business together. I think that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it'll be a pop-up one. It won't be something that we schedule. It'll be one that we pop up and then we probably put out later on. But it'll be one that if people want to participate, I'm sure they can be a part of. And I'm excited to ask about their wedding and Mick Foley doing the deed. So it's going to be fun, man.
That's going to be how you guys get married.
Right, Mick Foley?
That's it.
Yeah. We aren't going to cut the cake. Timber's going to throw me through a table.
Yeah. Oh,
there
yeah.
You go.
Straight DDT right there. Yep. Straight Sister Abigail.
Yeah. As always, add the number 3 Irish Boys with a Z. JP, I think we're done.
That's it. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.